Welcome back to Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered, and let's get started because we're probably going to slay a vampire here. Well, yet more things they definitely could not get away with in the original translation. Oh, you sure about that? Let's try. Well, that's actually a decently looking vampire, but it's a vampire simply named a vampire. Okay, so like, I have a feeling that Dia is going to actually do a lot of damage, but I mean, honestly, you don't really have that much better to do, so you may as well try it. And then, I'm going to go for my temper strategy again, although I kind of feel like haste is going to give me more bang for my buck by using it first. Okay, hopefully this works. It does do decently. So I'm just trying to think, like, is this guy gonna, like, what statuses could he use? I mean, I don't know if there's a life drain ability in this game. Okay, he does heal every turn. So I guess that's how his vampirism is being represented. Oh, that was my last Dia, because I was using too many cures before the fight. That was dumb, okay. Doesn't really matter, I don't really have a whole lot better for you to do, and I guess I'll just go for... I have no more haste, but I guess I can... I'm gonna temper Duncan, actually. Just so both my physical fighters, or, you know, you could just have barely any HP and just die. Maybe like that, and maybe it's like buffs aren't so good in this game. Not so much because they aren't good, but more because enemies have such little HP that, you don't really need them. Also, you give less experience than Earth Elementals. That's really sad. Oh, and he's just gone. So, yeah. Mere mortals cannot kill the Undying, and then you just die unceremoniously. Aha! That's the jewel we need to give to Mr. Big Giant. Meanwhile, there's something up here. I'm kind of wondering what it is. But first, things. I'm kind of annoyed that I can't use the teleport spell, but I do have 4 fire augurs. Okay, let's see this. No, that's pretty solid damage. Yeah, I guess the slimes in general just don't like magic, so what's this? Is this anything? Okay. Please tell me that we don't have to come back here later and, like, and purify that, because that would be kind of annoying. And yeah, speaking of annoying, I would really love the teleport spell right about now. Whoa, that's a lot of ogres. I don't think I saw these on any of the lower floors, which is kind of weird because they seem stronger than what's on the lower floors. Or maybe not. Oh, great. Noah's down, which is not good because he had the raise spell. Or life, but yeah. Does kind of mean that I can save my Phoenix Downs for specifically him. I also realized the trolls kind of look like Blanca from Street Fighter. Wow, that is a lot of experience. That's like much higher than the vampire. That's weird. Cavern of Earth does seem to be a pretty decent grinding spot. Well, we're almost out of here. Okay, so we have the gem for the Giant's Cave. But I do want to go back to the village, town, whatever, to resupply a bit. Lesser Tiger? I don't even want to think what the Greater Tiger looks like if that's only a Lesser Tiger. Worth good experience, too. A lot of things in this part of the world are worth good experience, and they're not actually that dangerous overall. I have to wonder if the difficulty was all toned down for this version. I don't know, because I just keep hearing horror stories about early NES RPGs. I don't know, like, I feel like, again, as I said during my Final Fantasy XII playthrough, I've never felt like Final Fantasy was a particularly, like, overtly difficult series, and that might have been why it was able to attract such a wide audience, but yeah, like, I don't know, maybe this, because I remember, like, the early Dragon Quest games were considered pretty difficult. Yeah, you can't use teleport. Like, I don't know if that's only an upgraded thing, or if that's, something else. I mean, I suppose slower is only one enemy. Yeah, I'd rather save up for later magic. Alright, I don't actually have Curaga, so I might as well get that. Does mean that I can't use Diaga on the same set, which actually could be useful later on. Honestly, Healra didn't really seem all that good, so you know what, I'm actually going to replace that with Diaga, just to have access to that when we start seeing stronger undead. Vampire is dead. Okay, so yes. Vampire wasn't entirely the source of the problem. That's good to know. I have a suspicion of who is. Oh, I can afford the Knight Arm. The thing is that, like, Cetra is taking barely any damage from everything anyway, so I don't really see much point of getting that right now. But you can at least take a silver armlet, and I probably should unload. Like, if not for, like, the extra money that selling gives you, I just want to clean up my inventory a bit of things that I'm not really using. I do wonder about that Coral Sword, though. We aren't really fighting much in the way of dragons at the moment, so I'm going to equip that Coral Sword and see if that does anything useful against what we're going to be facing soon. Oh, and I should probably save while I'm here. And now, let's head out to get ambushed by enemies, because of course. You know, with that sprite, I'm just thinking, I wonder if Coerls are a thing in this game, because I know that they are horrifying in Final Fantasy XII and some of the other ones, so I really am worried about having to encounter them here. I don't know if they are in this game, but if they are, then I'm worried, because, yeah, they probably don't have an attack that inflicts you with, like, 50 billion status ailments like they do in 12, but, yeah. I just realized the Coral Sword looks a bit like a Shichi Shito, or that sort of, you know, standard, not standard, but that, like, Japanese ceremonial, multi-bladed sword. So maybe it actually wasn't a Coral Sword in the original game, I don't know. But anyway, we can get in here now. And give you... Oh, there are encounters in this place. I hope these ogres aren't your friends, Mr. Big Giant who likes gems. Big Giant's a bit of a redundancy, but oh well. You'll kill ogres, me no like. Oh wait, you have Star Ruby. Give me Star Ruby, and I let you pass. And he's just gonna walk off, isn't he? Is he just gonna walk off the side of this? Yes, he is. He's just gonna walk out of bounds. Yay, the giant is gone! But there is something down here that I want to check out. Okay, Duncan gets more stamina. Okay, are some of these going to be monsters? Mithril Helm, that's pretty cool. Gil, and Great Axe? Can you use that? Yes, you can, but I'm guessing it has a lower number of attacks. I want to try this out for a little bit, just to see. And of course, Mithril Helm, yeah, that's going on you. Yeah, it's no wonder that that Dissidia kind of makes the warrior a canon party member, because it does feel like a lot of the, like, items that they give you in chess are very biased to you having a warrior slash fighter. I've already forgotten what it's officially called in this version. But it does seem like you get a lot of swords and a lot of heavy armor. And, like, other weapons that only, like, these classes can use. I'm actually not sure, like, what classes red... Because in some other Final Fantasy games, red mages do, like, have some more physical attacks than like, other mages. Hi there, lesser tigers. Does seem like the axe has about the same multi-attack rate of, other weapons. Of course, our experience in next level has now gone very, very high, which means we're maybe kind of set. Okay, there's another cave here. And another encounter here. And it's just beginning of game goblins. Okay, then. Yeah, when you're doing 1 damage to a black mage, then you know you have problems. When you're giving 6 experience, you also know you have problems. Sage's Cave. Oh, yeah, of course, Sage's Cave, because there was a sage here who knows too much, as I... Well, if Link wasn't dead in this universe, he'd have a field day with that room. Yeah, it looks like there's a sage here. Okay. Deep within the cavern. Oh, we have to go back there, and that's where the evil presence... Okay, yeah, I'm guessing there's more floors to it, too. Ah! As I thought. We need to go back in there! Oh, boy. And now he's just saying the same thing the random citizens are saying. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I know it's like, oh yeah, modern RPG conveniences, but I am really wishing that I had, some kind of fast travel mechanic right now. Because yeah, we've got to go all the way over there in a world map that has random encounters on it. I was doing about the same amount of damage with the coral sword, so I'm gonna sort of switch back to the coral sword just because it's cooler. Hang on a minute. There is no item shop in this town. Interesting. I was planning on stocking up for the shrine, but I guess I'm gonna have to go back to Cornelia for that. Yeah, I definitely want more ethers if I'm going to be going deeper in there. What's the dancer saying now? Oh, okay. So you actually don't have anything else to say. That's pretty much proof that we've done everything we can in the first continental area. 40 high potions. 20 ethers. I probably need more Phoenix Downs. That'll take me up to 10. For some reason I feel like buying some eye drops. I'll give myself an even 25 ethers. If it's only going to cost that much to max out my potions, I might as well do that. I mean, potions are good for just healing very small amounts of HP. I wonder if the Coral Sword actually does do more damage to sea creatures, because that was a lot of damage to the shark and the merman there. Yeah, it definitely seems to be effective against sea creatures. Not that I really need it, because these die to regular attacks anyway. But now it's back once again to the Cave of Earth. And one thing I will say is the world map is smaller than it looks. Like, as you can see, I covered a lot of distance in just those few seconds there. Well, there's even a different sprite for the sleeping bag. And so, once more, onto the Cavern of Earth. At least we've got all of the chests, so we can afford to skip a lot of the earlier floors. don't know if that picked up on the microphone. Yeah, it's a thunderstorm where I live right now. I wonder if that's appropriate for where we're going. Because I think our first showdown with one of the Fiends is approaching. And 2 level ups, nice. Both sides of the spectrum, Warrior and Black Mage. Oh, wait, Teal's finally hit 200 HP. That's a pretty good milestone for him. And that should be, yep, no levels up. More intellect, which doesn't seem to be raising his healing that much. And this is what I bought those potions for, just for topping off small amounts of HP. And I went the wrong way. While I find these rates, I guess I can say that, there's a, I may have talked about this in another video, but there's a pretty hilariously bad early RPG called Tecmo Secret of the Stars, and it translated Wraith as Lace. So you had these enemies later on called Lace and Rich instead of Lich. And Duncan levels up and just gets 1 life. I don't know what luck does. I don't know if it affects evasion or if it affects chances of status elements working. It's just, luck is one of those stats that a lot of the other stats are pretty self-evident in RPGs, but I was about to say, it was inevitable they were going to turn someone to stone at some point, and I'm guessing, oh, you still get experience when you're stoned, which is good, but yeah, it persists after battle, as I thought, but, I have some gold needles. Yeah, what I was saying was that, a lot of the other stats are pretty self-evident, but luck tends to do a different thing in every game. And in a lot of games it's not that good, but in some, like, I think in FF10, luck is pretty amazing from what I remember. Like, I think it does pretty much the exact same, like, things as, like, speed and, like, accuracy, but it does both at once. And I think to an even greater effect, too. I remember luck spheres being pretty highly sought after by people who played that game. Already down 20 of those potions that I bought. But, yeah, we're back here. And, like, with this, I just kind of want to say that, this is something that I do feel is kind of questionable design. So you beat the vampire. Beating the vampire gets you the gem that you give to the golem to get to the sage, who then tells you to go back to the earth cavern and fight something that you missed in there. Like, at that point, why not just have you go deeper into the earth cavern and fight the second thing from the start, rather than make you go on such a wild goose chase? This does kind of feel like a bit of, like, padding, in a way. This is the first time I've actually felt there's been sort of filler or padding in this game. Oh, there is, like, 1 door in here. That's annoying. I mean, I suppose it's kind of on the way to the other side, but I guess we'll see. Because yeah, if, you know, the item that you were going to get from the vampire, again, is what you would use to go and give to somebody who would give you what you need to get further into this same cavern anyway, then yeah, I don't really see much of the point to that whole thing happening. Because, I mean, so far there hasn't, I mean, like, that one case of forced backtracking to the castle to get the nitro powder, that I can forgive, because you were likely to go back to earlier areas anyway to see what you would unlock with the magic key, so it didn't really feel too jarring that you would, you know, go back there, because again, you're naturally revisiting earlier areas. You've unlocked something new that unlocks more areas in earlier, well, areas. Saying areas way too much, but, like, you get the idea. It's that kind of Metroidvania kind of thing where it's like, okay, I have this new ability that opens up a lot, oh, that's not good, that opens up a lot of other areas, so I'm just gonna, you know, you're doing that kind of backtracking anyway, and, you know, while you're discovering, you know, optional new things, you know, you might as well find a required new thing at the same time. Whereas here, I just felt like, making you go somewhere just to open up more of somewhere that you were already there, that you already needed to go just to unlock that somewhere, it just, anyway. Especially without a fast travel. Like, if there was some kind of a fast travel system, I could see this being kind of okay. And if there was some kind of story, you know, to this or something, then I could also kind of forgive this. Like, you know, if the backtracking was justified by some kind of plot happening in an earlier area. But as it stands, it does just feel kind of like pointless padding. I have this feeling, though, that maybe we need to go to that stage after we've beaten the Earth Fiend, because I feel like maybe he's the key to unlocking class change? Oh, I saw that one coming. Well, that's new. Ogre Mage. Interesting. So, you might think, like, the idea of an Ogre Mage is, you know, kind of weird, but at the same time, that is what Oni are sometimes referred to as in Dungeons & Dragons. And in fact, it's blue, and usually the blue Oni are... Actually, no, wait, the blue Oni are the red versus blue Oni is like cold versus heat, I think, in D&D, but, yeah, sometimes Oni in D&D are referred to as Ogre Mages, usually as one word. So that might be yet another Dungeons & Dragons influence in this game. Chest-contained tent! Another group of these guys and Ogre Mages. I'm just gonna go for a full-on standard attack pummeling and just see what happens. I haven't really seen them do much. Like, maybe they don't actually have magic. In fact, I haven't seen any enemy cast, like, a regular spell, apart from the Dark Elf using Death. Although, you know, the main reason I know about D&D Oni is due to a certain... Well, I spoke too soon. Yeah, it looks like they actually are casting spells. I'm still hitting them, even with Blink, though. Maybe Blink is reducing a number of attacks? Because we're not hitting as many times as we normally do. Okay, yeah, they definitely do cast spells. And I'm glad that everyone went to sleep except Cetro, because he was the one who was going to finish you off. Mithril Shield, okay. We're getting the Mithril equipment surprisingly early. Usually, like, you don't get Mithril stuff until quite late, but that's yet another thing that, like, Cetro is just getting all the equipment. It's like everything is for fighters, and then the rest of the classes are just like, yeah, you can just get the leftovers, or even, not even that, because they can't use shields or heavy armor or most of the spare weapons that I'm getting. Oh, yeah, you guys definitely... It's just such a silly effect. It's just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna... Blind status gives everyone sunglasses. It's just... I mean, I know that was the case in some of the other FF games. Like, I think it was like that in 4, I want to say. It still just looks really funny, though. Oh, wow, this exact encounter that completely wrecked me earlier in the game. You know what? I am going to flex on this encounter by... Oh, they're already running. By just auto-battling full-on attack and seeing if I still win. Which I probably will. I wonder if they... I mean, maybe it's just that the Coral Sword is really good, I don't know. Or if it just... Because I don't know if, like, the... I don't know if... I've mentioned things about weapons having high crit rates earlier, and I don't know if, like, there is a critical mechanic in this game, it's just not visible, or if the multi-attacks are crits. Like, again, I'm not really sure. I think I will see if I can cast an area magic spell. And I get petrified anyway. I was hoping that I'd get through this without losing a gold needle, but maybe you'll drop one? No, but we get a level up out of it. Because I don't want to run out of gold needles. I probably should have bought more. Because I have nothing else that can cure that. And I would just run from the cockatrices, but if I run, they also have a chance to petrify me, so it's sort of a... It's kind of a double-edged sword. Or... Morton's Fork, I suppose. Which seems to be a TV trope for, two choices and both of them are equally, equally unpleasant. Which is actually kind of... No, wait, no, that's not the original Murphy's Law. I was just thinking, because I know that people use Murphy's Law completely wrong, but I think, like, no, the original Murphy's Law was more like, if there are two or more ways of doing something, and one of them results in disaster, then inevitably somebody is going to do it that way. But yeah, Morton's Fork is more like, again, it's kind of like the sadistic choice. And I realize this floor seems to be a dead end, so, we may have found our place where the culprit behind this Earth tragedy is, but before that, let's just guzzle down some potions, because everyone's a little bit hurt. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. Yeah, you're not even worth using spells on. Getting poisoned against chumps like this is really irritating because it means that, like, if there's a lot of them, it's kind of hard to kill them all quickly, and maybe that's where AoE spells are useful because, like... Oh, maybe... Yeah, this is definitely the place where the culprit is. I kind of want to see what else is in here, honestly. Although, if I check... Oh, I can't check how many chests there are. Wait, no, if I do switch maps... Okay, there are 5 more chests in this place. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna look up and just see, because I originally thought, like, the boss was gonna be in the higher part of this area, not inside the room. Usually in rooms is treasure. But yeah, what I was saying about these things before is, like, the longer you spend in battle with them, and it does take a while to kill them off if there's a lot of them, the more damage you take, because while poison damage is usually... While their actual damage is, like, 1, the poison does do a decent amount to us, like, per turn. And there we go, Duncan levels up, gets more stamina. Okay, no, I can actually get in there. I was thinking, can I even get in there right now? But I can. Now, is there anything here? That looks like a different bat to the norm. No, it's still a regular bat. Yeah, nothing there, okay. Okay, right. How many spells do I have? So, Noah has basically everything right now. Though only, I'm down a cast of Diaga, which I might need it in this fight, because I know who the Fiend of Earth is, and they're probably undead. And I'm down a lot of 3rd level spells, but I have most of the rest of my spells, which honestly are going to be the majority of things that I'll be using in this fight. I mean, I can maybe just use... I mean, I have a whole lot of ethers. I can maybe just use 1 ether. Oh, right. It's only affects 1 person. Yeah, 1 on you, 1 on you. Okay, there we go. Top ourselves off a little bit with potions. And, okay, let's go. That is not what I was expecting. Oh, that flea took longer than I expected. So, is this a monster, this weird yellow orby thing? Who speaks to me? Yep, it's clearly a monster. And very definitely undead. I am he who feeds on the power of Earth. I will not be disturbed by mortal men. I am the Lich, Fiend of Earth. Oh, that's all, okay. I thought the Fiends would get a unique boss theme in this version. So yeah, this is our first Elemental Fiend, and our auto battle is on Flea, which is kind of funny. But okay, yeah, you're gonna just attack. You're gonna just attack, because there's not really that much better for you to do. How about I invis you, and then temper. Oh, wow, that does not do a lot of damage at all, okay. Maybe you're supposed to grind for this. I feel like I was kind of powerful when it came to the regular encounters, but I don't know. Oh, and I got rid of Heal Rub, which was maybe a bad idea since this guy has a lot of area spells. I want to try and see how much damage Diaga does. And now Haste. Okay, with Temper, I'm doing a little bit more. So let's see how much damage this does. That looks cool, though. Actually, a lot. Okay, so Noah is both my healer and also probably my primary damage dealer in this fight. Unless, see, it's gonna take a lot of time to get both the buffs on Duncan. So I'm wondering if right now, he should just be my healer by just using items, because I need to keep Noah alive. Noah is vital to this. Of course, my Diagas do take up the same things as Revival. I do have Phoenix Sounds, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and temper Duncan. Ah, of course. So my haste is now gone. That is incredibly annoying. Yep, high potion you. This is my first time I'm ever using a high potion in battle. Okay, temper's up. Got 2 people tempered. You can continue to use Diaga. If this game did have, like, healing magic hurts undead, then white mages would be incredibly powerful in this fight. I'm gonna put haste back on Cetra. Oh yeah, so Cetra's back down to average, whereas Duncan's on slow. So just like in the later Final Fantasies, that's how haste and slow work. If you're hasted and then you get hit by slow, you go back to neutral. That makes sense. Thundara, okay, that's gonna do a lot. And Teal's down. Right, again, I am now severely regretting, giving up my, area healing. Do I have anything? I don't think I have anything better than a high potion, unfortunately. I mean, you have life, but I'd probably rather... This is a problem. If he uses another, area... Or he could just die. Okay. Well, that definitely was tougher than most bosses so far, but, then he just kind of... The battle just kind of ended. I do feel like Temper Haste did help to an extent. But it does take a long time to set that up on multiple attackers at once, so yep, and Teal unfortunately misses out on the experience from our first really major boss. And he's just gone. No dramatic last words, he's just gone. Oh, so it was, you know that, I don't know if that's intentional, that the white mage, if you have the... maybe that was a total coincidence, that maybe it's just the third party member who has the Earth Crystal, but it worked for Noah to be the one to have the crystal for this shrine, because he was the hero of that fight. Yeah. So, that fit, okay. I'm gonna go ahead, no, I'm gonna use a use of life. And it revives with only 1 HP, I kinda thought so. But I have a lot of curas. So let's give everybody a cura or 2. Or 1, because I'm now out of those. This is the Altar of Earth. Okay, that's it. And now, I really hope this is the warp out of the dungeon. I don't know if that existed in the original game. I mean, you know, anytime there is something that makes the game more convenient for you, I question whether or not it existed in the original game, because it just feels like, you know, early JRPGs were typically not very user-friendly with a lot of the stuff that they handed you. Oh, you want to escape from a dungeon after you finished? Oh, you want a free heal for a boss fight? Nope. That's why I bought all these items, because like, from later RPGs, I'm really used to getting a free heal before bosses, so I like to bring items so that I can top myself up before a fight. But anyway, before I go back to town, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna try and see the Sage again, because I want to see if my earlier suspicion is true. You know what else I just realized? I didn't save since I beat the Earth Fiend. I need to do that now. Yeah. That could have been disastrous. I mean, you know, it would have been even more disastrous if this was the original. Now, I could have been way off the mark with this, but I seem to remember something about your class changes being tied to a Sage. From, like, what I read about this game online. Nope, he's just saying that, okay. Maybe I was wrong. Actually, now I think about it, maybe it's that I seem to remember something, this could also be very wrong, but something about that you can sequence break to one of the crystals you're supposed to do later, and that's what gets you your class change, and then you can potentially get the class change early that way? I don't know. And there we go, Cetra levels up from that, and we are right at the town here. Well, this place is still pretty devastated. And they're all wanting us to restore the crystals. Oh, there is an airship in this game. That's interesting to know. I was wondering if there was one. Oh, okay, so the north. Okay, so they are at least acknowledging that the Earth's coming back. It's just that, it's probably going to take a while. You know what? I am getting, Healara back. Don't think I even really need Curaga right now, so I'm gonna do that. Okay. Did I ever use Curaga? I don't think I did. I was like, oh yeah, I don't need healer, I use Curaga instead, and never uses it. And then I have a boss with the area magic, and then I don't have party healing. But anyway, that was that was kind of touch and go for a bit, but we did actually beat the Fiend of Earth. So, what is next for the 4 Warriors of Light? Honestly, I'm not sure. I guess we'll just sail our ship wherever we can get to next and find out. See you all then.